Why do I keep doing sports journalism? It's hard for me to come up with the right words for this, but basically I keep going because it's my passion, the loyal fans and the wonderful community of people that I get to meet. Why does anyone start doing sports journalism anymore? To be famous. Who wouldn't want that as a job? I mean, it's not hard, especially if you're a columnist. And you're famous, but you're not too famous. Like, there's no paparazzi, you don't need bodyguards, but there's a point in fame where people start loving you no matter what you do, and that's when things start to get a little bit out of hand. I'm talking about sports media culture because no one else talks about this. I guess you could say there's this elephant in the room, and I'm here to slay that elephant. Or escort it out. I've been wanting to talk about this for months, but I finally found a way to make my points clear. But I'm not going to talk to you like you're a 2-year-old like some other journalists and reporters do. You're smarter than that. So there are barriers between fans and journalists, and I'm not talking imaginary here. I'm talking like literal barriers in between them. The way that sports media culture is today is something both the fans and the journalists are responsible for. Here's the thing. I'm afraid. Because I don't want anyone's life to revolve around me. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't want someone's life goal to be getting me to follow them back on Twitter. I would never want to be on that level of fame. That sounds annoying. But if I get to where I want to be after college, then I'm going to be one of those journalists within the next decade. And even though I'm not there yet with the whole top journalist thing, I don't want people to act like I'm above them. The only difference between me and you is that I type words onto a computer and get paid for it. Some journalists are treated like gods when they are literally probably the most normal, famous people of all time. I see people tweeting journalists all day long trying to get them to reply, sometimes even making rude or racial comments in order to get a response. I don't want people to do that for me. I just want people to live their lives. Like, it's not for me, it's for you. I just want to make it clear that you don't have to wait for us to acknowledge your existence in order for you to start living. People act like a follow back is required to get a job. I think it actually becomes a problem when fans love a certain journalist so much that they start believing whatever they say, no questions asked. Like, a journalist could say something about a certain team or player, and then some fans will take that information and make that their own opinion without looking into it first or even seeing it with their own eyes. If I say something wrong, please at least realize that what I said was wrong. Like, if I say that Serge Ibaka is more vital to the Thunder than LeBron James is to the Heat, don't say, #Kevin is the greatest journalist of all time. All I want is for people to hold me accountable for things I say and do. Just don't anyone be a mindless fan. Think for yourself. Oh, and journalists, you thought you were getting away? No. Get them. Sick them. Journalists need to do their best to remove themselves from the pedestal that they're on. There's no way to completely do that because there will always be those people that really love you. And that's fine, but don't not acknowledge it and don't act like the fans are the only problem. Your fans are people too, and not just one group of people, but individuals, each with their own feelings. The more you know. Doing little things like replying to comments, interacting with fans helps remove those barriers. Hey journalists, you're not cool because you don't respond to comments. Some journalists think that they are too important to respond. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard! View your audience as something other than a way to get that money. Make that dough. Make that bread. Make that cheddar. Make a grilled cheese sandwich. For me, it's not about the money. I don't make enough money for it to be about the money. You remember that money I was throwing earlier? That was $3. That's all the money I own. I'm not exactly making it rain. To be honest, I can barely make a drizzle. So to summarize, journalists, try to make sure that your audience knows that you're not a god. Also, don't treat your audience like toddlers, unless that's your core demographic. Then by all means. Fans, try to realize that your favorite journalists are not only people, but are also probably not that awesome in real life. Now to update you on my current journalism endeavor. I'm a beat writer for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and my credential for the NBA Finals was approved. I just filled out the application, checked my email, and the NBA accepted me. Yes! However, the Thunder lost in 6 games to the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, therefore canceling out my credential. Of course, I didn't have an insane amount of readers this year, but my numbers go up every season, especially during the playoffs, so I'm hoping the Thunder can make it there next season. Also, if you're interested, you can read some of my work at Thunder Fast Break. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So videos should be coming out a lot more frequently now that it's summer, and this isn't my house. Leaving